Hello there, good evening and welcome to Engineering and You today. And it's going to be an exciting time because I have a guest that I'm excited about, and we'll be talking about him very shortly. And Engineering and You is a program where we talk about engineering and science, a program where we stir up the interest of young Nigerians, especially secondary school students, to study engineering, because for today to be better than yesterday, it took engineering. And for tomorrow to be better than today, engineering is required. On this note, I want to welcome you to Engineering and You for today. My name is Tunde Olaniro. And last week, we gave you a question for the week. And good enough, we have a winner, and his name is Tomi Odugbemi. Tomi Odugbemi. I know he's watching, so just pick up your pen and take the note of this number and call to get your gift. The gifts for every week is on the stable of Prince Engineer Yemisi Shilon, FNSE, and he's the one bringing the gift every week. So Tomi Odugbemi, get down this number, 0703 161 1497. Again, 0703 161 1497, and get your gifts from there. On today's edition, you know, it's a very interactive program. We ask you a question, you ask us questions. So before I introduce my guest, let me give you the question for the week. And it is, what is the molecular mass of carbon? What is the molecular mass of carbon? You can call in and give us your answer before this program runs out. The question for the day, what is the molecular mass of carbon? Call in and give us your answer. Please note that these questions are for secondary school students alone, and the gifts are therefore for them. On this note, let me take a very short break, and when we return, I will be introducing to you my guests. All right, welcome back. My guest for today is Engineer Canon Tunde AWOLANA, MNSE. He is the past chairman of NSC, Abeokuta branch. He's also the chairman of Association of Professional Bodies of Nigeria, Ogun State chapter, and the former general manager of Ogun State Broadcasting Corporation, OGBC. He is the Ogun State, member of Ogun State Board of Technical and Vocational Education, and the chairman governing council of Government Science and Technology College in Idiaba. He is an electrical engineer, and your guess is as good as mine. We'll be talking about electrical engineering. So on this note, and let me welcome Engineer Tunde AWOLANA. Welcome to Engineering and You.
Thank you.
Yeah, let me set the ball rolling. First of all, why did you choose electrical engineering instead of mechanical, civil? Why the choice of electrical engineering?
Well, as a young boy, I took delight in opening anything that I have within my disposal, mainly pressing iron, fans, and the rest of it. So when I had the opportunity of growing up, in my locality, we had a lot of this radio mechanics, we call radionics, you know. And a lot of them were my friends. So, and when I grew up and I had the opportunity of choosing, I just went straight into it. And that's all.
So what were the subjects you studied when you were in the secondary school? And which one, if I may ask, was your favorite?
Coincidentally, Yoruba was my favorite. I like talking in using proverbs, you know, and I got that from my grandparents, you know, and the people surrounding me. You know. I got the best. I was one of the best students in Yoruba, though. although the sciences were there for us, mathematics, and so I went to a secondary school that encompassed everything that could bring you up into whatever career or vocation you want to choose. So I opted for the sciences. Yeah, I wasn't too bad in mathematics, physics, and chemistry. And so, although I didn't take additional maths when I was in secondary school, but I needed it, and I went for it thereafter. So that's the story.
Mathematics is, if you ask most of the secondary school students of nowadays, mathematics seems to be the biggest problem. It's like almost an impossible subject to understand. Was it like that for you, and how do you encourage someone like that?
No, it's mathematics is the easiest to pass. I had a rhythm. So if I had to, when I had to teach students for the school start, prepare them for the school start, you know, it's easy. If you are not dividing, you are multiplying. If you are not adding, you are subtracting. And then you have the board mass. So once you can master all these basic principles of mathematics, then we are good to go.
All right, let's now come down to electrical engineering. Now, when you hear the word electrical engineering, what comes to mind is light, electricity. Is that all? And which one did you opt to study in all the fields of electrical engineering?
Yeah, at the HND level, I did electronics with communication engineering. At my degree level, I did purely electrical engineering. But electrical engineering is subdivided into so many units. The basic electricity is there, electronics, you have, in it you have computer engineering, then, although they are in different segments now. We have the telecommunications, some of the subjects are electromagnetism and the rest of it. So it's a very wide, electrical engineering is now wider than before. And the basic thing in electricity, you see, if you don't have electricity, you cannot generate other sectors of electrical engineering, because you need it to power every other equipment, being it computer. You look at your camera, you have to power it, although at very, very low voltages. You know, you convert your your electricity to your alternating current to direct current. In some cases, in that case you convert. In some cases you now invert. You know, from DC, you bring it back to AC, and that's where you have the inverter. You have the solar energy now, and the basis of it is electricity, from the high tension to the low tension that supplies your houses.
Okay, you spent decades of years at Ogtv Broadcasting Corporation. Now, how did electrical engineering apply to radio broadcasting?
Yeah, you see, electrical engineering is the basis of broadcasting, because you have to power all your equipment. Even, what do you call it now? In those days, your recorders and the rest, you have to power them.
The midget and all.
The midgets and the rest of it. Although some of them used battery cells then, but it is still the same thing. Engineering is problem solving. And when you find yourself in administration, you solve problems. So that's what I can say. Applying electrical engineering into broadcasting engineering is part of the ball game. So you are trained in specific areas. Now you apply control engineering. You know what we are doing these days, robots are now doing a lot of them, you know, even in broadcasting. You can set this studio, you can run it auto, and from time to time it will be picking next program, what next to do, and the rest of it.
So does that reduce the prospects of somebody that has gone to the University of Polytechnic?
No, not in any way, because you have to write the program anyway. You have to write it. You program the equipment to do whatever you want it to do. So you now understand it and then command the equipment. You command the computer to do it. You time it, okay, at a particular time you pick camera 1, at a particular time you pick camera 2, at a particular time you suppress the audio, and that is chaining it. Yeah.
Okay, in case you are just joining us, this is Engineering and You, and earlier on I told you that we don't just want you to watch and listen to us, we want to hear from you. The numbers to get to us will be on the phone line in a matter of seconds, on the TV screen in a matter of seconds, so please call the numbers and join us. And the question for the day, which I had read earlier on, is what is the molecular mass of carbon? So if you know the answer, just pick up your phone, get across to us, and we would. And if you have a question for our guest, Engineer Tunde AWOLANA, please go ahead and put a call through. He's ready to answer your question. So let's continue, sir. Nowadays we've seen a marriage of some of the engineering fields together. We've seen computer engineering come together with electronics engineering or electrical engineering nowadays. Now, what does this portend to the future of engineering vis-a-vis someone that wants to choose the field of engineering to study?
Yeah, it's the first thing is to learn the basics of, let's say, engineering now. You know, these days you have mechatronics. Yeah, you see integration of mechanical electronics, engineering, system engineering, everything now brought together to run a particular. So it's an integration of everything that is broadcasting now. And the basics of it is electronics. You have...
All right. Johnson calling from Lagos. Johnson, good evening.
Hello, how are you today?
Very fine. And you?
I'm okay, sir. The answer to your question is 12.011.
12.011.
Approximately 12.
All right. Okay, we'll let you know if